Now then, Manchester United beaten this evening in Switzerland. Young Boys 2, Manchester United 1. Andy Mitten is the editor of United We Stand. He's on the line now. He was at the game. Hey, Andy.
Hello. I'm still inside the stadium. I might look like I'm in an office block, but I'm still in the stadium in Bern.
Oh, good man. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure you're busy doing lots of various bits and pieces. So, Young Boys 2, Manchester United 1. After about 13 minutes, when Bruno Fernandes puts in the most delicious outside of the boot cross for who else, I think we're now at the point of saying, but Ronaldo, to finish, you would think, well, okay, this is going very, very well. And here we are, 2-1 defeat. Was this all about the Wan-Bissaka sending off and United down to 10 men, or were Young Boys maybe more worthy winners than I'm giving them credit for?
Well, Young Boys deserved to win the game, but the game also swung when Aaron Wan-Bissaka went off. Manchester United went from dominating the match to being dominated in terms of possession. It was a game played in an absolute bear pit of an atmosphere in Bern. If you look at the stadium from the outside, it looks like a shopping centre, but inside, just as it was in 2018 when United last played here, it was raucous, and you also had 1,800 United fans for the first time being able to travel to a European away game since February 2020. But it's what happened on the pitch which people will be talking about, and any Manchester United defeat is rightly scrutinised. I've just seen Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Harry Maguire talking in the after-match press conference. They're disappointed. The gist is a bad night, some indiscipline from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a mistake from Jesse Lingard. But it's the first game of a six group games, and Manchester United really have to be coming out of this group. No excuses. And if they don't, then that's a major, major issue for Solskjaer and for Manchester United. The group isn't as strong as the one last year, which contained PSG and RB. United have got to get out of this group. Okay, one defeat. Fans will be angry tonight, and understandably so, but United have got to start winning and get out of this group. This is the side that Solskjaer has built, and he's got to get a tune out of it.
It's funny, the Champions League really propelled him towards getting the job full time. You think of that win against PSG in particular, and the excitement in the BT studio, and Gary Neville interviewing Solskjaer afterwards. And yet you look at his Champions League record overall now, and it's 7 defeats in 11 Champions League games, which is extraordinary record. You think of Van Gaal, Mourinho, they had 6 defeats in 20 games, both of them. So you couldn't really say the Champions League has been an area of great success for Solskjaer. Are you seeing any trends there, Andy, across Manchester United European performances in the Champions League?
Well, it's not good enough. Manchester United were perennially in the last 4. They won the Champions League. They were in 3 finals in 4 years between 2008 and 2011, and performances have dropped a long way since then. It's all about results. Manchester United shouldn't be in the Europa League. Didn't even win the Europa League last year. Villarreal won that, obviously, after all of those penalties. But Solskjaer has got to get a tune out of this team now.
Yeah.
And he has built this team, and United will lose matches. Every football team loses matches. But if after 6 matches the team have not gone out of this group stage and are back in the Europa League or not even in that, then that is a major, major issue for Manchester United.
Yeah.
And the sending off tonight, it did switch the game, and the plastic pitch is another mitigating factor, but fans quite rightly will not want to hear excuses after 6 matches if United have not gone through. And Solskjaer has got to take his responsibility as well, and it's not without reason that he's being criticised by some fans for his tactical decisions and for his substitutions tonight in Switzerland.
So the team that started with Shaw, it was Maguire and Lindelof, it was Bissaka obviously at right back, and then it was Fred and Van de Beek, interestingly, as the 2, with Pogba, Fernandes, Jadon Sancho behind Ronaldo. How did Van de Beek get on? I mean, it's kind of interest anytime he actually gets some game time now, because this much heralded signing gets so little.
He actually did okay. He was unfortunate, and he looked like he was keen to impress. He worked hard going forward. He defended diligently, and he wouldn't have been brought off at half-time if it hadn't have been for that switch of tactics because of Wan-Bissaka going off. So the guy needs a break. You know, he had a break tonight in starting the match, but he went off because of the sending off. But I thought he did okay. I thought he was one of the better performers in a first half, which United had largely controlled until that sending off. United knew what to expect from young boys. They knew that they were a young, intense, energetic team. They knew that they would flood the box, especially at corners. And what corners? Young boys had 8 corners. Manchester United had 1. Young boys had 20 attempts on goal. Manchester United had 2. The statistics really are pitiful for Manchester United this evening. Almost as bad as that game in Sevilla 3 years ago, which would ultimately lead to a slide and Jose Mourinho losing his job 10 months later. I think, hand on heart, I think it's a bad night. United have started the season well. I do think that the team will come out of this group, and it feels disappointing now, but nowhere near as disappointing as that defeat in Leipzig last December, which condemned United to the Europa League. United have got 2 home games now. They need to win them, and I think they will. And if they don't, then we've got major issues.
Then we're back to this Solskjaer cycle where he's under pressure and then he'll come up with a few results and the cycle continues. I mean, their start to the season, it's, again, the same vulnerabilities are there. Like, you throw in tonight, Newcastle at the weekend, and I'll ask you about that in a moment with Ronaldo, and just this frenzied atmosphere was just absolutely extraordinary. That was its own unusual entity. But you take the 3 games before the international break, and like 2 which jump to mind were Southampton away 1-1, and the Wolves game, which they won courtesy of that Greenwood goal in the 80th minute. But frankly, Wolves outplayed them and ran through them for huge portions of that game. And I remember going into the international break before all this Ronaldo stuff happened, thinking, this team, they're not going to keep pace with Chelsea. They're not going to keep pace with Manchester City. Liverpool looked to be in better shape than I think I had thought based on their performance at Leeds. There were still so many of the same vulnerabilities there, Andy, before the Ronaldo signing. Now, what impact that has is going to be interesting. But Southampton away, Wolves away, I just thought, this is not good. This is worrying for Manchester United on a few different levels.
I think everything what you said there is fair comment. I'd also look at the league table as well and see where Manchester United are. The pre-season was imperfect because there's so many players who were missing. But United have had a relatively easy start to the season, and they did win those games. And Ronaldo has come in, he's really lifted the mood. But the gist of what you're saying is absolutely right. They've got all of these star-name players, and it seems to be the players rather than the collective who are winning these matches. United have got to impress more in the matches. Solskjaer has got to put his stamp on this team and get them playing where in a manner which really convinces fans. And even during the game against Newcastle at the weekend, that was the first United game I've not seen for 20 odd years, because I was doing a bike ride for charity, but I was listening to it on the radio. And my first reaction when Newcastle were playing so well was pretty much what you're saying. This is just not good enough. I think if you look at the league table after 10 matches, I think if United are in a far better position than last year, which it should be, because last season and every season the team have started pretty poorly. But you're right, the team will be judged against your Manchester Cities, your Liverpools, your Chelseas. I still don't think Manchester United are favourites to win the title. No. But they have to improve. And if not, then that's just not going to be good enough. You've got to win trophies as well. It's glory, glory, Man United. And Ollie's not won a trophy yet. And he was still pretty upbeat after the game tonight. And I think he's still got the backing of most Manchester United fans. Maybe not when you ask people right this minute, when people are angry after a defeat, you'd get a swing in the reaction. But the players are certainly having him. But they've got to get into a groove. And there were plenty of times under Sir Alex Ferguson where United really kicked on strong in the second half of the season. This team is still not a vintage team by a long stretch. It needs to convince. The football needs to be better. Ronaldo's come in. He scored 5 goals in little over 100 minutes of football. That's fantastic. But they've got to click, and they need a bit of time to click as well. But the names are fantastic, but it's not just about names. John O'Shea wasn't a big name, but he was a really important part in a successful winning machine, and United have got to become that machine. Yeah,
you used the word click there, you used the word collective. I'm watching Chelsea. There are 2 minutes to go. Chelsea 1-0 up against Zenit St. Petersburg. I mean, Tuchel is the annoying example, I think, for any manager at the moment. I mean, I'm sure Frank Lampard has a kick at the cat the odd time when he sees what Chelsea are doing. And for Solskjaer, again, you compare the body of work. Like, Tuchel came in and straight away got hold of this thing and put a collective stamp on it, and they became a team very, very quickly. And they're looking ominous now. I mean, even just the way they dispatched a very decent Aston Villa side was ominous. You think this team, they're going to be there at the end of the season. They're going to be consistent. You don't have that sense with United at all. And ultimately that will come down, that will come to Solskjaer's door. Because as you said, the names now, I mean, like, Cavani's going to do well to get in matchday squads at this stage.
Cavani's an absolutely brilliant world-class striker who finished last season really strongly. But yeah, the more of these star names who come in, the more it's going to land on Ole Gunnar. I do think there's been more of a philosophy behind this than that first splurge under Louis van Gaal. I do think the signs have been more thought out. The mood genuinely is good. It was a frenzy around Cristiano Ronaldo, but there's not that much the club can do to that. And obviously they're going to embrace the shirt sales and the commercial aspect because they have to pay for all of these players as well. There's a buzz because the fans are back, but the bottom line is Chelsea are the European champions. Now, Chelsea pay players exceptionally well, and I've been speaking to a few agents recently and been surprised at what they pay in comparison to Liverpool. For example, Liverpool obviously a huge club, but Tuchel got them. He got them playing straight away, and they won the European Cup. But then we're talking now after a down moment with Manchester United. There's been plenty of highs, and as you said earlier, just when Ole needs a result, he tends to get them. But that's not going to be enough in the medium and long term if he's going to stay in the job. He's got to be delivering league titles. This Manchester United team has really got to be reaching a Champions League semi-final this year. They're probably not going to have a better chance to do it, given the difficulties that the Spanish sides have had. And look at Barcelona struggling at the moment against Bayern Munich. But they've got to click. I keep saying the same words, but then it is still very early on in the season, and Ole's not a complete novice. I know people who work with him, who work for a lot of top managers, and they don't talk publicly, and they would say to me in private, this isn't going to work, but they don't. They say the opposite. The problem Ole's got is because he's not got the bank of credit among the supporters, or he's not got the trophies which Ferguson or Mourinho or Van Gaal had. There will always be doubts, and until he starts winning trophies, those doubts will never go away. I think he's doing a good job, but it's got to become a great job.
Andy, now that the dust has settled on the Ronaldo transfer, what are you hearing about how it came about, and like how much of this was down to, quite simply, we cannot let Man City have Cristiano Ronaldo, we need to just swoop in there?
Truthfully, I was asked to write a piece on him going to Manchester City on the first day of a family holiday, so my wife was obviously delighted about that. And I wrote it, I filed it, and then on that Friday there was a press conference, and I thought, I'll just dip into there, because I got a couple of messages off people who know, and one of them was someone who knows Cristiano, and he just said, you better buy your wife a meal tomorrow night. And I thought it was such a cryptic, odd message. What on earth do you mean by this? And I asked Ole, I said, are you happy with your squad? And he basically said, no, I want more players, which for him is quite a strong line. And a journalist came in after me and said, are you trying to sign Ronaldo? It was much more direct, and it moved very, very quickly then. There was definitely contact and interest with Manchester City. Ronaldo's got a history with Manchester United. United are obviously a big club, they can afford to pay his wages. Football's full of romantic stories. This is one of them. And I know lots of people were at the game on Saturday. Some of them said it was a bit too much of a carnival. And I spoke to lots of supporters club leaders who said that they'd had like 4 times the normal number of applicants for tickets. And part of me thought, what fickle humans. And then part of me thought, this is the world. This is what it is. This is showbiz. And Ronaldo is box office. I've seen that tonight in the stadium in Bern. I counted lots of people, not hundreds, but holding up them stupid cards, and they are stupid, saying, Ronaldo, please can I have your shirt? And when he came off at the end, he was applauded. He hadn't even had a good game. He'd scored a goal. So he's absolutely box office. And people go to football for different reasons. And some people just want to buy into the Cristiano Ronaldo thing. And if it works, and if he lifts Manchester United, and I think he will do, because I do think he's still got it, and his statistics are still incredible, then the signing will be vindicated. So definitely a setback tonight, but I'm still largely optimistic about Manchester United. I think they had a good transfer window, but Jadon Sancho's done nothing yet.
No,
I think he will.
Does he look fit to you, Andy? I'm not sure what kind of shape he pitched up in.
He's just done nothing. I mean, most of United's early attacking play went down the left tonight. He was on the right. There was a time where Paul Pogba was shouting for the ball and he made the wrong decision, and he's just done nothing yet. And I'm not going to write him off after a month by any stretch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't write him off after one season. He's a hugely talented player. But you need him to start playing. If you're going to be winning league titles, you need your main summer signing or your most expensive one to start playing. And you can say that about several.
The aging of the cells. Soon the science will fix the cells to the state. And so we will become eternal. Only accidents, crimes, wars will still kill us. But unfortunately, crimes